is Amaya. Today's October 10th and I'm doing my upper extremity competency video. Here's the list I'll be going off of from Canvas. And then for these views, it is going to be 40 inches SID. So to start, I'm going to do the AP view of the thumb. So can I have you, which is the first digit, rotate your thumb in? Actually, rotate it like this. Yep. And then we do want to be centered at that first MCP joint. And then I do want to collimate 1 inch all the way around and get the CMC also included. So I'm gonna stick my marker, actually 1 inch, right here. And then exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna move on to the PA oblique. So can I have you just lay your hand flat? Thank you. And then again, we wanna be centered the same spot. Then I'm gonna slap my marker right here, just in the light, but not touching the anatomy. And that view would be made. So now I'm gonna do the lateral. So can I have you give a thumbs up? Yep, just like that. Slap my marker. And the image would be made. And so now I'm going to move on to the second digit. So yep, can you just lay your hand flat? And then we do want to be centered at the PIP joint. And then the same collimation, 1 inch on all sides. I'm going to slap my marker in there. And the image would be made. And then can I do a lateral? So I'm gonna have you hold your thumb out like your second digit out like that and plop it down. Yep, just like that. And then again, I'm gonna be centered on that second PIP joint. And the exposure would be made. And I'm gonna do an oblique. So I'm gonna grab my sponge. Yeah. And then would you be able to put your hand up there? This sponge is a bit different than what we're used to. Then I'm gonna get that centered. Second PIP. Yeah. Move my marker. I can get it to stick. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, and the exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna move on to my hand. I'm gonna do the PA. And then we're gonna be centered at the third MCP joint. Have you come up? Yep, just like that. I'm gonna open it up to not clip the thumb. Bring it in just a little bit. And slap my marker right down here. And the exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna do the oblique hand. Here you go. And then, yeah, scoot your hand up just a little bit more. I'm gonna open it up. And then get centered on that third MCP. Which is gonna be about right there. I'm gonna open it up just a little bit so I'm not clipping the thumb, and the exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna do the lateral hand. So can I have you turn your wrist lateral and then fan out your fingers just like that? Yep. I'm actually gonna put it on there. And then I'm gonna check your wrist, make sure that it is lateral. Thank you. And then fan out your fingers. Okay. And then I'm gonna close it in. And center on that second MCP. All right, and the exposure would be made. And now I'm gonna move on to my PA wrist. So can I have you lay your hand flat and flex your fingers? Thank you. And for this one, we wanna be centered on the mid-carpals. Then I'm gonna close it in to the 2.5, proximal and distal, and open it up. I'm gonna slap my marker right down here. And the exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna do the oblique view of the wrist. So yeah, I'm gonna just use this sponge. That's what I have for that 45-degree angle. I'm gonna close it in just a little bit. and then still be centered on the metacarpals. Slap my marker right here, and the exposure would be made. And now I'm going to do the lateral view. So can I have you your arm straight up, and then I'm still centered on the mid-carpals. And the exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to move on to the AP forearm. So can I have you turn this way towards me with your knees facing in, and then I'm gonna actually move the image receptor. And then her shoulder joint, wrist joint, and elbow joint are all on the same plane. And then I'm gonna open up my light and get centered to the middle of her forearm. And then we do want a little bit of light above the elbow joint and a little bit of light down here as well. So I am centered to her forearm, and then I can close it in. Then I'm gonna slap my marker right here. All right, and now I'm gonna do the lateral view. So can I have you come at a 90-degree angle, and then you're gonna bend your forearm just like that. And then I'll have you scoop. Yep. And then I'm gonna open up the collimation, bring it down. And then I do want a little bit of her elbow in, so I'm gonna move your arm just a little bit to not clip it, and then get centered with the right forearm. And I can actually come back just a little bit. And then I'm gonna slap my marker right here. And then I'm gonna check and make sure that you are lateral, and the exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna be moving on to the elbow view. I'm gonna start with the AP. So can I have you hold your arm flat out? And I'm gonna check those epicondyles, make sure they are parallel with the IR, and get centered on her elbow joint. Yep. And then we do want the light above proximal and distal. I'm gonna measure it out. You can come in just a little bit. And I'm gonna slap my marker right here. Actually, you go to the other side. And then I do wanna make sure that I'm good. And the exposure would be made. And so now I'm gonna do the lateral rotation. So can I have you rotate your arm so that your thumb and the oblique lateral rotation, second digit, are touching the board. And then I'm gonna check those epicondyles, put my marker right here, and the exposure would be made. And now I'm gonna have you do the oblique and medial rotation. So can you pronate your hand? And then check those epicondyles. I'm gonna straighten you up just a little bit. I'll stick my marker right here, and the exposure would be made. And now I'm going to do the last view, which is the lateral for the elbow. So I'll have you come at that 90-degree angle, and then hold your arm up. And then you can put your hand underneath just to give it some support. That hand, yep, underneath. And I'm gonna center on the elbow joint, feel her humerus, make sure that I'm lined up. Okay. And then I can collimate in just a little bit. And then I'm gonna stick my marker right here. And the exposure would be made. And I'm done.